Thorpe Park's new 2019 park event schedule was announced recently, and it has garnered an extremely irrational response from the UK coast community, to the point where I actually feel like I have to come to their defence. Now, if you know me, you'll know I'm not exactly the biggest fan of Thorpe Park or their recent decisions. However, I think people really need to calm down. I don't think I've ever seen such an outburst of insanely unwarranted anger in my life over something like this, so I will attempt to play devil's advocate here and try and talk through why people are being insanely unfair to the park. So to start out, let's address the whole Loggers Leap died for this, or is this really the best you can do after you've closed one of your rides? This is literally not a replacement for Loggers Leap, nor should people see it as even being remotely connected in any way. Aside from possibly Jungle Escape, these events most likely came under a different branch of funding Merlin gives the park every year, so it's not like they are choosing to leave Loggers Leap abandoned. This set of events has nothing to do with the major capex investments at all, so please stop acting like Thorpe are just doing this.
Let's just chuck our money in random locations and see if that works, because I tell you what, it's better than investing in a new coaster.
To kind of add on to this, there's also the whole entitlement thing of,
I want something done to the land by Loggers Leap. I want something done on the island behind Swarm.
Stuff like that takes a very long time to plan, and since most of the recent large-scale projects haven't really done too well in terms of numbers, it's going to take some time before Merlin deem the park stable enough to put a significant investment in. They'll need to wait until there's a much more solid guarantee of getting a return, which is pretty much how basic business works at the end of the day. Anyone heard of the massive toll the failure of I-305 was on King's Dominion? It set the park back almost 10 years before they were able to fully recover and secure funding for a large-scale attraction like Twisted Timbers, so give it some time. Events like this are designed to tide over the years where there won't be too many large-scale projects going in, so please just be patient. Last of all, there is a massive misconception about who this sort of event is even for.
No, I don't want to do any of this stuff. I want to go on coasters.
These sort of events are not targeted at a regular coaster enthusiast. They are for a much broader demographic. Your idea of what makes you happy most likely does not align with your average park guest who is just going out for a day of fun with family and friends. Ideally, these events are designed to bring in people to the park who would usually pass up the opportunity to go multiple times during the year due to things just being the same. But, with the seasonal events throughout the year, it does have the potential to bring in more guests without the risk of losing as much money as a major investment. It's a way to keep a park afloat, and make going back at other times during the year feel different. If it doesn't make any difference to you, then at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. It's not going to be overly intrusive like Love Island Lates ended up feeling at times. These are their own secluded events that are genuinely completely optional after all. There's some more petty stuff I could delve into, but there really isn't any point to even acknowledge them as genuine arguments to be taken seriously. Personally, I don't really like nor dislike this current lineup of events set up for this year. The park is under some new management, so hopefully they will take on board the stuff that made last year feel really flat and confusing. Only time will tell how things play out, but at the end of the day, if it goes well, or if it doesn't, it's at least something to try while we wait a bit more patiently for that brand new coaster.